Hey, what's up, everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we're doing the what's next on Edward Vazquez, the now former world title challenger, as he competed for his first world title on November 4th in the main event of a DAZN card against Joe Cordina and came up short by a very close decision. He was disgusted with it. He thought he won the fight, but it was a good close fight between the two. And, Cordina, got the victory. And he was also at home. So, those close fights, hometown boy, most of the time, it'll go to him. But we'll get into that. Before we get into that, though, if you could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I continue to build my channel here. 620 subscribers strong. You guys are awesome. I asked you guys to get me to 600 by the end of the year. You guys look like are gonna get me to 700, so hopefully that happens. But anyways, back to Edward Vazquez. Following this loss, he thought he won the fight, so now but came up short, and now the big question is, what's next for Edward Vazquez following this loss? And it's tough to say because it's tough to say what's going to happen. We don't know where he's going to be ranked, but I think he threw himself into the serious mix here at 130, and he's getting a what's next video because I feel like his performance has earned him a crack at an opportunity to be in the top 10, and we'll see what happens now going forward. But let's run through the guys in the top 10 and see what potentially could be up for the now former world title challenger. We start with reigning WBO champion Emmanuel Navarrete. Not seeing this one. Navarrete is with Top Rank, so that's one thing. But he also, he's moving to bigger and better things. He's fighting Robson Consaichao actually tomorrow night. And if he's victorious, which most people feel he will be, I think he's going to be making his debut at 135 to go after either Shakur Stevenson or Vasily Lomachenko. So we'll see what happens, but that's what I think is potentially up for Navarrete. Then there's Oscar Valdez, the former 2-division world champion. I think it'd be a great fight between the two. It's Top Rank working with Vazquez, and I want to say Vazquez is either with Golden Boy or Eddie Hearn, but he's I'm not sure if he is though. But the point is I think he Vazquez is going to have an opportunity to I think he would have an opportunity to potentially fight Oscar Valdez in this fight, but I just don't think Valdez would want this fight since he's lost 2 of his last 3. I think he would just kind of stay away from this one and all that stuff, so I'm not seeing it. Then a rematch with Joe Cordina, I don't think so. Cordina, doesn't really show any interest. He's still in kind of optional mode. If he can get a fight together right away, I think the IBF will approve him to make an optional defense because their mandatory challenger has not been decided. They just ordered it between Shavkat Rakhimov and Eduardo Nunez. So I think if Cordina tries to plan a fight for early in the year, I think the IBF would probably approve of it. And I just don't think Cordina would entertain a rematch because Vazquez isn't a big name and he got the win. I think it's just he'll be fine with whatever he just had to get a bigger fight next. Then there's O'Shaquie Foster, the reigning WBC champion. It's tough to say because Foster just signed with Top Rank today. If Foster was still a promotional free agent, I could really see Foster fighting, giving Vazquez an opportunity here. But now that Foster is signed with Top Rank, it's tough to say if he would fight a guy like Vazquez next. Maybe he would to kind of one-up Cordina if he could beat Vazquez more convincingly. But I think he's going to try to explore other options first and then maybe entertain a guy like Vazquez. You just have to wait and see. And you also have to wait and see exactly what the promotion looks like for this fight. Then there's WBA champion Hector Luis Garcia. He's currently fighting Lamont Roach Jr. at the end of this month. If he wins, depending on the promoter for Vazquez, be tough to get him in there with Hector Luis Garcia, because most of the time, unless it's a mandatory fight, the PBC guys like to fight PBC guys. You know, they really don't branch out too much unless it's a big fight that a lot of people want to see. So I'm leaning towards the less likely with Garcia. Then there's Shavkat Rakhimov. It looks like it could be an easy fight to make, but Rakhimov has a showdown with Eduardo Nunez next, which would make him the mandatory challenger. So at Joe Cordina, and that's a rematch that Rakhimov wants. So I think it'd be a good fight. I think Rakhimov would probably be down for it if he didn't have to deal with Nunez next, but he does. So I'm not seeing it because of that. Then there's Robson Conceição, the former two-time world title challenger. He's fighting Navarrete this tomorrow, actually. I think he's going to come up short in that one. And then Vazquez, you know, it depends on promoters after that. But I'm not sure Vazquez would want to fight a guy coming off of, you know, multiple losses with that kind of awkward style. And especially if it's not an easy fight to make with the promotions. But I wouldn't completely rule it out. Then there's Zelfa Barrett. If Zelfa Barrett is available, I think Vazquez should go after a guy like Zelfa Barrett, maybe. Because Zelfa Barrett's with the zone. He's with the same promotion. He could potentially, you know, Vazquez and Barrett could get on the undercard of a Cordina fight or something like that. And if he could beat Zelfa Barrett, he throws himself right into the mix, right back into the mix, like, you know, hardcore. So I think a showdown with Zelfa Barrett would make a lot of sense, you know? And I think with the way he fought Cordina, he would have that puncher's chance of pulling off the upset and beating Zelfa Barrett. And there's Lamont Roach Jr. If Lamont Roach becomes the WBA champion on November 25th against Hector Luis Garcia, which I think he's got a decent shot at it, I think Roach might fight a guy like Vazquez next. He might just say, hey, I'll fight this kid, you know, just to get his cred up, you know, up a little bit more. He's a Golden Boy DAZN guy. Wouldn't be a hard fight to make. So I could see I could see Lamont Roach fighting a guy like Edward Vazquez. I could. But he's got to get the win. I'm picking Hector Luis Garcia in that fight, but it is a good matchup. Then there's, you know, Roger Gutierrez, a former champ. It really depends on what Gutierrez has going on. I don't particularly think that, you know, this fight would, you know, Gutierrez, I'm not sure if Gutierrez would be down for it, but it would be a good way to get Gutierrez back in the mix. And it's a good solid former champion for Vazquez to beat and get on his resume. So I think this one makes sense. And then the last couple guys, you know, you got Lee Wood moving up. He's going after Cordina. I don't think he would fight Vazquez because it'd be a risky fight. Josh Warrington, another one. I know he wants to move up to 130, but I'm not sure he'd give Vazquez the love in his first fight out at 130. Rocky Hernandez, though. This is another guy that got a What's Next video, has kind of busted into the top 10. I could see Rocky Hernandez and Edward Vazquez fight each other. The reason being is they both gave the champions hell in O'Shaquie Foster and Joe Cordina. Rocky Hernandez was winning the fight and got stopped by a late rally by Foster. He got stopped in the late rounds in a fight that he was winning, and Vazquez fought tooth and nail against Cordina in his hometown, your home country, and almost beat him. You know, so I think it would make a lot of sense for these two to get together and go at it in their first fight of next year, because the winner really would throw himself in the mix. And I also think it would just be a straight up banger. I think it'd be a straight up banger of a fight right there. And I hope these two guys would consider it with each other, because I really do believe that would be an entertaining and fun fight to watch. So that's it. That's what I got. That's my what's next on the now former world title challenger Edward Vazquez, following that tough close decision loss to Joe Cordina on November 4th on DAZN. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.